What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is, of course, your broadcaster, HD StarCraft, on this fine, breezy afternoon, and I'm here to bring you guys a Heart of the Swarm broadcast. Over here in the top right-hand corner, we do have the red Zerg player. His name is going to be Skinz. And across the map on Daybreak, we do have his opponent, the yellow Protoss player. His name is Champi. And so it's going to be another Protoss versus Zerg. Seems to be the predominant matchup nowadays in Heart of the Swarm, what with so many pros being Protoss and releasing their replays. White bruh. And we will see what happens in this matchup. Looks like the probe is going to make its way in between the Automaton 2000 and the Xel'Naga Tower, making its way up the ramp, of course. And this gives me an opportunity to go ahead and let you guys know about a pretty big giveaway I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to say exactly what it is. I'm just going to say it's a giveaway that you guys will probably want to be tuned into. So tomorrow, I'm going to be giving away those things. The details are going to be given out tomorrow. So make sure you guys stay tuned to my YouTube channel if you guys want a shot at something that I've been promising to do for some time now. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And let's see what happens here in this matchup. Drone now trying to become a spawning point at will, calling on 4 more drones to help it out to try to blockade the probe in, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and Champi will get his probe out of the way. Probably going to be seeing a 14 pool 16 hatch or 15 pool 16 hatch, one of those things here. I'm not too sure when he threw the spawning pool down, but we can see a drone coming out right now, and it looks like it wants to be a hatchery. But the probe is ever present, always so annoying for Zerg players, and it looks like Champi's going to go ahead and full retreat here, which is going to allow the Zerg player to go ahead and throw that hatchery up. You guys will note we do have the unbuildable plates on this map, and given that they are placed in the correct position on Daybreak, it is not going to be super effective against Champi today, who did go for a Forge fast expand. So old school opening here from Champi. Not the Nexus first, not Naniwa style, which is more of a re-innovation of the oldest school style of opening against Zerg, which was just like a 1-gate opening. And for now, it looks like both players are going to be set up for a macro game. We have Overlords already beginning to position themselves in the proper spots to be able to fly in and figure out what's going on in the Protoss space around 6 to 7 minutes in. Skinz getting this Overlord also on the northern location of the natural for Champi, who has just finished his Photon Cannon number 1, as a couple of Zerglings make their way out across the map. A couple of drones mining gas right now for Skinz, as he looks like he wants to go ahead and build up enough for possibly Zergling speed, maybe into some type of Baneling or Roach play as well. We'll have to see. Most Zergs, when they get the Zergling speed against Protoss, so they do opt to pull the drones off gas after 100. And look at the timing right there from Champi's Cybernetics Core, plus the whole position on the probe. That's going to make sure that those Zerglings are not going to be allowed inside. And not too sure what Skinz is trying to do here. Maybe he wasn't aware, but there was a change recently that made it so Zerglings cannot squeeze in through these little narrow corridors anymore. So no matter how hard you try, you will have to kill off that probe before it lets you inside. And look at this, man. Champi going for another block, but just a millisecond too late. That was really close. If he had gotten in there in time, he would have blocked that hatchery. And Skinz probably would have been pretty pissed about that. Just not because it's hard to deal with, because at this point he's already got the ability to make Zerglings, but just because anytime you can get something like that in, it's just like a mental, mental screw you, if you will, just to get that block in there at that moment in time. Right as that hatchery is coming down, we do have a Stargate coming out. Double Stargate from Champi. I've been seeing this a lot more now from Protoss players in Heart of the Storm. They really seem like they want to make use of those oracles and the ability it gives for Protoss to play Stargate-based styles against any matchup now. So you do see this a lot more with Protoss players, just fiddling around with Stargate play, trying to get oracles and making them work. We already saw White Raw use them in that epic game. So by all means, they are definitely a viable strategy, but at the same time, you gotta feel like it's a pretty big commitment from Protoss to go for double Stargate, because look at the front door right here from Champi. He's really got nothing. If a Roach, Zergling all in, Baneling all in, any type of attack right now at the front door, it would be nigh impossible for Champi to hold it off. So it is an extreme risk here, I feel like, to go for double Stargate. Always has been for Protoss. But you know what? Skinz is not being aggressive. It looks like the metagame so far for Zerg hasn't evolved to the point where they realize, hey, double Stargate play is a, you know, it's a strategy now that Protoss can employ, and really the best way to counter that is early ground aggression. But it seems like the metagame hasn't evolved to that point yet. We do have 22 Zerglings on the way, though, from Skinz. Champi just building up the oracles. He's got 2 already. Now I'll just remind you guys that the oracle does have that pulsar beam, which is an auto-castable ability, drains 2 energy per second, but does 25 damage per second. So for 2 energy, you convert that into 25 damage, and with 4 oracles, that's 4 energy. I think that's 4 energy for 100 damage, if my math is not, you know, incorrect there. So we do have those 4 oracles moving out right now. The quadra kill force ready to go. It looks like they just barely escaped the vision of that overlord, and now they're gonna get in completely undetected. And Skinz does have 2 queens here, but this hatchery, mind you, is in a lot of trouble. And Champi now just pulling that oracle away, so close to dying. Gonna get a couple more shots off. He loses one of the oracles, but he's got 3 here still remaining, and that hatchery is going to go down. Another great play by Protoss here, just making use of those new oracles and their ability to just laser down buildings with incredible speed. Those oracles right now just flying around the map, totally confident in themselves, pretty smug, I'd say. They're like, yeah, look at what new abilities we've got now, Zerg. And now they're just flying into the main base, and I guess at this point, just for scouting purposes, not too sure why Champi is just letting another one die there, but yeah, I guess it was a bit of a miss micro at the end as another queen was coming in. Now has this oracle just flying over, just checking out what's going on inside the Zerg main base, and he sees the Nidus network coming up. Not to mention, I guess he didn't see anything inside the main base, but he did see the Nidus. Now, that all of a sudden makes the oracles flying in, and even though one died, so worth it, because now Champi can just pay attention very carefully to the minimap and make sure he doesn't get caught unaware by a Nidus network. But it looks like he's going to lose some of his ground troops here once again. Remember, when you go oracles, your weakness is ground as Protoss, and Skinz is taking advantage of that, and we do have a Nidus worm coming up inside the main base, but Champi is prepared. He's got 2 Void Rays there, and the Void Ray should be able to handle that, but it does force Champi to cancel off the Nexus at the north because he just didn't have enough ground troops there to deal with that situation. So Nexus goes down at the 3rd, and the Zerg player, by all means, really trying to force his way into the bases with the Nidus Worms. Has another Nidus Worm coming up just outside the natural, or inside the natural, I should say, but all the probes are coming in right here, and that worm is going down. No chance for it. And at this point, really, the Nidus Worm, every time you try to erect one, it does cost a lot of money, and it further puts you in a hole as a Zerg player. I know that Skinz is trying to force the situation here because he knows that, you know, Champi doesn't have any ground troops. It's a very limited amount of ground production right now. We do see 3 more gateways being added on. But, you know, I see what Skinz is trying to do. He's trying to take advantage of the lack of ground and get inside the main base and do as much damage as possible, but so far it hasn't worked. And now he's kind of forfeited and said, you know what, I'm just going to try to throw the Nidus outside of the Protoss main base, but this isn't going to work either. As Champi has a Void Ray there as well, so down that goes. And now Skinz says, well, now this one will probably not get caught. So this worm, you are going to be born today and come out into this world. So there it goes. Skinz will get 1 worm up, but it's really a small it's a small consolation, really. You know, if he's trying to play the psychological mind warfare game where, oh, where's the Nidus at? I don't think that's really going to hurt Champi at all. We do have some roaches coming in through the front door, but the Oracle drops down the Time Warp field. And look at how slow it takes everything to get through this little choke point. Now, some of the Zerglings have made it through, but there's quite a bit of Protoss structures here, not to mention units. Was that a Nidus Worm that just came up inside? I think it was, and it just went down, not too sure, but Champi is going to hold this like a champion. No problems at all. And look at how many sentries he's got out now, plus the Tempest on the field. So far, you know, you're seeing Skinz trying to make use of Roach Hydra Zergling. He's still on layer tech pretty much, and just forcibly almost overextending himself with these Nidus Worms, but they so far just have not been effective. And I see Champi now starting to take control of this game if he hadn't already had control before. Which really, he has had all this throughout this game ever since he killed off that third hatchery with his quad Oracle fleet. Now it does look like those Skinz is coming in with a lot of Roach Hydra. That Time Warp field is making it hard for the units to get past, but they are past it now. As we see more Protoss forces coming down, I don't think that Skinz has enough to hold on to the ground troops now. It seems like Champi has been able to get enough gateway units on the field to be able to make a stand here, but he is losing quite a few of his sentries. Another Time Warp field comes down, and you can see just, there's a Nidus Worm coming up right now as well. Half of it inside the Time Warp field, the other half on the outside, and oh my god, Champi cannot let this Nidus Worm come up. What kind of forces are waiting inside? Doesn't look like there's anything. And the Tempests are going to blast it down. Oh, that could have been a turning point right there if all of these Zerglings had been inside the Nidus Worm ready to go. But alas, they were not. Now it does look like Skinz is going to try to run right into the natural. So he's not giving up hope yet. We also have another Nidus Worm coming up, but it is on the outside perimeter of the Protoss base. Champi now just doing all he can to stay alive. These Zerglings are now inside the main base as well. 9 probes have gone down, 12, 13, and the number continues to go up as Zealots come back to try to save the probes. 19 probes have gone down to the Speedling run by, and that was a great move by Skinz. Exactly what he needed to do to get back into this game. Now inside the natural, trying to take out as many more probes as he can. Too many Zealots and Tempests here now, and it doesn't look like he was able to kill out any more probes. One random unit here, I think it was a Void Ray, just going right into enemy airspace and gets taken out. You can see on the units lost tab, actually, Champi has been losing more than Skinz has throughout this game, but the problem though is that, whoa, hold on, we got some Zerglings running over here to the third. And a lot of probes are going to go down here. 31, 34, and the number continues to go up. Great run-bys by Skinz. And I was going to say, even though the Protoss has lost more throughout this game in terms of resources, one thing that Champi's been doing well is he's had 3 bases, and you know what? The Zerg just got this, relatively just got this third base up and running. So, you know, the Zerg does not have that +1 base advantage, but he did just kill off a lot of probes. So he's now taken the drone count advantage, 53 over 49, and we do finally have a 4th hatchery coming up. But I still feel like he is in some trouble. Look at this composition from Champi. Zealot, Tempest. You want to mess with me on the ground? I got a bunch of Zealots on there to deal with any ground troops you've got, and if you want to mess with me in the air, I've got Tempest as well. So this is a scary Protoss army now making its move across the map. And what does the Zerg player have to deal with this? A lot of Hydralisks. Hydras aren't that good against Zealots, so he's lucky that the Zealots do not have Zealot legs researched. Without Roach support here, this could be a hard combat situation for the Zerg player. Skinz trying to get in position to take out these Tempests, but it's just too many Zealots and Tempest firepower. He's gonna have to pull back. The force field's not the best. But Champi right now with so many Tempests in the air, we've seen exactly what happens when Protoss is allowed to get this many Tempests on the map. It's very hard for Zerg to deal with. The range plus the ability to snipe out massive units makes them extremely powerful against Brute Lords. Corruptors really aren't that great either, as we saw in that game that I casted with White-Ra. And so the options here for Zerg are quite limited, and Infested Terrans don't work that well either because of the range from the Tempest as well. It's actually very hard for Zerg to deal with a Protoss player who has amassed a large enough number, a critical number of Tempests. And watch what happens when the Corruptor's flying. It's not even fair. And Champi's right now gotta be laughing. I mean, this is looking pretty good for him as a Protoss player. He's adding on Colossus now to deal with the Hydralisks. I think the only thing he's worried about are the Hydras, but that is why he's got Zealots. And of course he's researching Zealot speed. Here we go though. Oh, great fungal growth coming out from Skinz. Will he have enough to take out this Protoss army or not? Trying to fight through. He will not be able to retreat due to the force fields. The Tempest just continuing to long-range fire down all the Corruptors, but looks like Skinz is able to take out the ground troops, but 2 Colossus are coming in here. Colossus got to be careful. Champi doesn't want to overextend him on the creep. Has a new cycle of reinforcements coming in right now for Champi. He loses 1 Tempest, but I think this new wave of Stalker reinforcements are going to be enough to break the back of Skinz. Don't forget we have a couple of Zealots down here too, just holding out the right outpost. And Champi, after dealing with, I don't know how many Nidus Worms this game, had to be at least 5 or 6, not to mention multiple Zergling run-bys, is in a position right now to look to end this game. He has, he's at 138 supply, under 158, so I guess it's still possible that Skinz can come back, but you look at the army composition, I don't know, it's really hard to say. It's gonna come down to this fight right here. I don't think Skinz has enough yet. He needs to pull back and wait for his Infestors to fungal, but he doesn't have enough energy for fungal growth. He does pick off an Archon right there, which was a beautiful snipe. Every key unit, every critical unit against Protoss matters quite a bit more than Zerg. And now he's gonna go in with everything, gets a good fungal. Will he be able to get another fungal growth down? The Colossus looking to prevent that from happening. Yes, 1 more fungal comes out. Champi here, moving in forward with the Archon, loses it, has a new wave of Stalker reinforcements, and that is the power of Protoss, able to reinforce immediately as long as they have a pylon nearby, providing the power they need for their psionic network. And this hatchery is going to go down, and just like that, Champi looking very, very good in this game. Now starting to pick out the creep tumors, and the Zerg having to just continuously retreat and retreat and retreat. Doesn't have an answer for the build here from Champi, who has now really just converted back into a more standard Protoss death ball, backed up by Tempests. And everything is just getting lasered down like there is no mercy for the Zerg player at all. As soon as the Corruptors pull in closer to the Colossus, the Tempests make mincemeat of that. And this army is just too much for Skinz to handle. Champi gets the victory here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. If you did, make sure to check me out. I'm at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Beautifully played game out there by Champi, the Australian Protoss. And once again, I just want to reiterate, tomorrow I am going to be doing a giveaway. I'm not going to say what it is, but it is going to be something that you guys will probably want to go ahead and check out. So that will be tomorrow. A video will come up detailing all the information you guys will need to know about that. And this is HD, signing out.